Hey, Los Blancos fans! Today we've got some massive headlines shaking up the football world. Thierry Henry made great precise comments about Real Madrid, which shocked everyone. He wasn't afraid to tell the truth. Stay tuned to see everything. Furthermore, Carlo Ancelotti has reportedly rejected Brazil in a stunning twist and is now considering a shock move to Saudi Arabia. And some huge news on Jude Bellingham's red card from the Copa del Rey final. And the decision might surprise you. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss the latest updates on Real Madrid. That's right, folks. What was supposed to be a glorious season for Real Madrid has turned into a living nightmare. After the humiliating elimination from the Champions League by Arsenal by a 5-1 aggregate score, the Merengue team suffered yet another devastating blow. The defeat in the Copa del Rey final by arch-rivals Barcelona, in a classic marked by tension, controversy, and Catalan dominance from start to finish. The dream of winning titles and regaining hegemony in Europe and Spain has turned to dust, and with that, the criticism that many ignored at the beginning of the season now seems truer than ever. We're talking about Thierry Henry. Earlier in the season, when Real Madrid was announcing the arrival of Kylian Mbappé with great fanfare, Thierry Henry made a statement that many considered exaggerated. "Real Madrid is putting shine where structure is lacking," said the former French star during a broadcast on CBS Sports. Mbappé is a phenomenal player, but he won't fix the systemic problems of a team that depends on individual flashes of brilliance. At the time, these words sounded like envy or resentment. After all, Real Madrid was on a roll, with young talents like Bellingham, Camavinga, and Tchouaméni showing signs of improvement, and Mbappé's arrival was seen as the cherry on the cake. But today, with the season in bad shape, Henry seems to have seen before anyone else what was really coming. Henry's criticism wasn't just directed at a player or coach. It was a direct attack on the club's project, or rather, the lack of one. Behind the scenes at the Bernabeu, reports have been circulating for months about a lack of harmony between the board, coaching staff, and squad. Carlo Ancelotti, despite being one of the most respected coaches in the world, seemed increasingly disconnected from the new generation. The dressing room was divided and the hierarchy on the pitch was never clear. The arrival of Mbappé, with an astronomical salary, star status, and direct influence over internal decisions, only made this situation worse. Henry commented, again this week, after the defeat to Barcelona in the Copa del Rey, "Real Madrid forgot that titles are won with teams, not with names. They put together a squad as if it were a parade of Galacticos, but without knowing who is the leader, who is the worker, and who decides. In the end, no one decides." Mbappé has scored 19 goals so far this season. In terms of numbers, that's not bad. But in terms of impact, it's a different story. In decisive moments, like against Arsenal, the number 9 simply disappeared. In the first leg in London, he had only one shot on goal and 18 touches of the ball in 90 minutes. In the return leg at the Bernabeu, apathetic, disconnected, and substituted in the 75th minute to discreet boos from the fans. Henry was blunt when analyzing his compatriot's performance. Mbappé is not the problem, but he is being used as a bandage on an exposed fracture. The team is disorganized, emotionally unstable, and tactically lost. About Ancelotti, according to reports from Marca, the Real Madrid manager has now rejected the offer to take over the Brazil national team, a position he was previously expected to accept. And in a major twist, Ancelotti is now considering a significant offer from Saudi Arabia. Let's rewind a bit. Ancelotti, whose contract with Real Madrid ends this season, was widely believed to be the frontrunner to replace Tite as head coach of Brazil. In fact, he flew to London earlier this week and was expected to sign the contract while in the English capital. Brazilian FA President Ednaldo Rodrigues even confirmed ongoing negotiations and had high hopes of wrapping up the deal. But here's where things took a turn. After returning to Spain on Tuesday, Ancelotti personally informed the Brazilian Federation that he would not be taking the job. The reported reason? Uncertainty surrounding when he could actually begin his role with Brazil, especially with Copa America and World Cup qualifiers approaching. And now here's the real kicker. Multiple outlets are reporting that Ancelotti is seriously considering a lucrative offer to manage a club in the Saudi Pro League. While the specific club hasn't been confirmed yet, the deal is rumored to be in the region of 60 to 80 million euros over 2 years, a figure too large to ignore, even for a coach of Ancelotti's stature. This raises major questions for Real Madrid's future. With Ancelotti on his way out and now likely heading to the Middle East instead of Brazil, who will be the next man in charge at the Bernabeu? Keep an eye on Xabi Alonso, whose name continues to be linked as the long-term successor. More on that in the coming weeks. Now let's shift gears and talk about some much-needed positive news for Los Blancos. And it's about Jude Bellingham. The English midfielder who was sent off during the heated final moments of the Copa del Rey clash against Barcelona has now had his red card officially overturned. Let's break this down. In the dying minutes of the Copa final, chaos erupted on the pitch. Real Madrid players were visibly furious with several refereeing decisions, and a flurry of red cards followed. Antonio Rudiger, Lucas Vazquez, and Jude Bellingham were all shown red by the referee as tensions boiled over. Rudiger was later handed a 6-match ban for aggressive conduct and verbal abuse. Vazquez received a 2-game suspension. But for Bellingham, the club successfully appealed the decision, and thanks to detailed video footage and testimony, the red card was deemed unjustified. As Copa reported, Bellingham's red card has been revoked. The midfielder will not be sanctioned. Real Madrid's appeal is therefore successful, thanks to the images presented by the Whites. This is a huge win for Real Madrid, especially as they push through the final stretch of the La Liga season and look ahead to a potential Champions League final. Bellingham has been crucial all year long, with 23 goals and 8 assists in all competitions, and losing him at this stage could have been a disaster. His availability in the next fixtures against Cádiz and Alaves means Ancelotti can continue to rely on his midfield maestro during this critical phase. While we're on the subject of Real Madrid's future, the summer transfer window is already heating up. With the end of the season approaching, the club is preparing for major moves, especially with the likelihood of Ancelotti's departure and a need to rebuild key areas of the squad. Let's start with outgoings. It's widely expected that Luka Modric and Toni Kroos may be heading into their final weeks as Real Madrid players. Both legends are out of contract in June, and while Kroos has hinted at a possible renewal, Modric is strongly linked with a move to MLS or Saudi Arabia, possibly reuniting with Ancelotti if that Saudi move materializes. Eden Hazard, who has barely featured this season, will also be offloaded. His contract officially expires in 2024, but Madrid are willing to terminate early if a suitable buyer is found. On the incoming side, the biggest name, of course, remains Kylian Mbappé. Reports out of France suggest that Mbappé is finally ready to leave PSG this summer, and Madrid are preparing a €150 million offer with wages close to $35 million per year. The deal would make him the highest-paid player in the club's history, but Florentino Perez is ready to pull the trigger. Elsewhere, Real Madrid are monitoring Alphonso Davies from Bayern Munich as a potential long-term solution at left-back. Valued at around €60 million, the Canadian international is considered one of the top targets if Ferland Mendy departs. And finally, keep an eye on Leny Yoro, the 18-year-old center-back from Lille. With Rudiger now facing suspension and Nacho aging, Madrid are looking to bring in fresh defensive talent, and Yoro fits the bill. So what does all of this mean for Real Madrid heading into the summer? We spoke with Spanish football analyst Guillem Balaguer, who shared this insight. Real Madrid are in transition. The potential loss of Ancelotti and 2 midfield icons, Modric and Kroos, would mark the end of an era. But the club is planning wisely. With talents like Bellingham, Camavinga, and Tchouaméni, they're building a new core. Add in Mbappé and a coach like Xabi Alonso, and you're looking at a formidable new chapter. That's a powerful assessment. The next 2 months are going to be crucial for setting the tone for next season. Real Madrid fans should brace for a mix of nostalgia and excitement, because change is coming, and it might just make Los Blancos even stronger. And that wraps up today's video. Let's quickly recap. Carlo Ancelotti has rejected Brazil and could be headed to Saudi Arabia. Jude Bellingham's red card has been overturned and he's free to play. Real Madrid are gearing up for a blockbuster summer transfer window, with Mbappé, Davies, and others on the radar. What do you think about Ancelotti's decision? And would you like to see Mbappé in a Madrid shirt next season? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. That's all for today. Please leave your comments below and hit the like button. Thank you for watching.